Hi guys, I'm back. Welcome to my channel. So in yesterday's video you saw me starting to work out the composition for my chair. It's only been a few minutes for me. I hopped up, stretched my legs and then have come back and just turned the camera straight back on. So everything is where we left it yesterday because we're still sort of pulling this all together. The only thing I grabbed is, if you recall, I cut, hello Casper, I cut out this little floral piece. And remember I said I wonder what else is on the, what do you call it? Pillow slip that it came from that could be also utilised. There might be smaller versions of that image. So I grabbed that to have a little look. I've still got my chair and how I'm going to do that. So this is the actual pillow slip. So it has a cotton on the back with the smaller version of the flower. And this is the front. So that's the one that we've been using. And there's this one. I've got a bigger piece of it because it looks like the seam. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I wonder if I could work in some of this ribbon. Isn't that nice? It suits the piece beautifully. How could we work that in? I love those pearl buttons. Doesn't that bring up some ideas in my brain? That one there I could take out. I don't know if I want to nibble into this because it sort of could be anything from a journal cover to another base piece, and I love how this is already connected to this, so I'm not going to cut into that. I'm going to find the other big piece, the rest of the pillow slip. I'll put that away. And this is the other piece. When you're in the op shops rummaging for fabrics, have a look through the linens, because often you find those decorative pillow slips. You know, when you buy a quilt and there's always that one pillow slip that's real fancy and you never really use it because to lay your head on it is to get all sorts of textures into your side of your face. So often it ends up at the shop. I'm just going to take another one of these flowers out that is a different design, just in case we need to drift it. Now, I also grabbed a bird fabric, and I'm hoping the bird will work as my base to embroider. Oops, move the, I don't know where that was. I don't know, doesn't matter. I'm just going to fussy cut this little guy out as well, because I think we're going to need to drift these little cherry blossoms. I'm going to call them cherry blossoms. I don't know if they are or not, but I'm going to call them that, over to the other side of this little scene for my bird. So I feel like I have a plan of attack. Yesterday's video was very, well, which was like 10 minutes for me, was very much, I don't know what I'm going to do, how are we going to fix a few little design elements that need to be addressed as we sort of march forward on this panel. But I think I have a plan of attack and I have some nice little stitchery projects to do. So I'm actually filming this on Good Friday. So you guys will be watching this the week after Easter. So I hope you all had a lovely Easter. Now, before we go too much further, let's have a look at the birds. This is the fabric that come to mind for my birds. I think I need to put some pins in. Oh, the other thing that happened, which I was going to show you in yesterday's video, is I managed to acquire a new Ferrero Rocher container. If you recall, this one got cracked in my suitcase, and I'm really digging it because it is so handy to put my extremely dangerous needle cushion in. If you're new to my channel, I made this little sampler stitchery, turned it into a little pin cushion many, many years ago. This thing would probably be 30 years old when I first started doing red work. And I should have put a base through here, and I didn't know that walnut shells existed, which everyone's using now, because if this was full of walnut shells, it sharpens your pins and needles as you place them back in there. So that's the whole benefit of that. Plus, it, you know, with a piece of card here, I wouldn't have all these needles and pins sticking out the bottom. It's absolutely lethal. I have sat on this thing. It is just, I've grabbed it in a rush and just crunched. Oh, it's horrid. A little while ago, green branch. That's from that pillow slip from that other project. That would work in this. Oh, goodness sakes. And these little flowers have been kicking around for ages. I've found that this little container is perfect to sit this lethal little thing in. It then holds a quick unpick. I can get some little scissors in there. So I'm just loving the fact that my pin cushion is a little safer to have around me, and it carries a few other things. Plus I got to eat the chocolate. So now I can get rid of that container. The only thing I will say is this was a nice Perspex container. Now they've given us this plastic. So they've got a little bit cheap. It holds my cottons. It holds a silicone thimble. That one's broken, so we can just pop that one in there. And as I plan a project with you guys, you'll often see me just slide the threads in that I'm going to use, and then that just goes to the chair. Like, that is just brilliant. Plus I've got the little lid. At least that fits better than last time. Anyway, I'm going, like, who cares? Ah, dear. I like these that I just found in the bottom. They've been kicking around from the project that was Champagne Garden. That is from that pillar slip that has a lot of flowers embroidered on it that I'm using in the what do you call it? The Doily project. Oh my goodness sakes. Stay focused. Put that away. That's just going to open up a whole can of worms if I pull that branch out. Put that in there, but they can stay. They may finally get a home. Anyway, birds. Let's talk birds. So I was going to pin that flower. Gosh, you guys must be thinking she's all over the place. I'm going to pin these few flowers here because every time I move fabric, they're flicking up and moving. And I know they're going to stay there. They're going to be the canopy of this tree, and I'm going to potentially merge in some of those, so there won't be as much tree needing to be stitched at the end of the day, because I have these three-dimensional elements that we can collage in. I'm going to use these little flowers just as a background to it all. Now, I really need to pick a bird, get bird into position, because the bird's sizing is really crucial here. I just leave those bits to one side. We can, pretty happy with that. The little bee is good. I'm happy with him. He'll be stitched in. I like the fact that this floral is now drifting into that design from the other day, or the other week. Let me bring it over a bit. The floral is drifting into here, so that shed is becoming more, what's the word? Engrossed by flowers, enveloped. You're probably yelling out words. Okay, So we've got the start of something there. No, just leave it at that, girl. Okay, so we want a bird. Let's talk birds next. That should all stay now. I can flick fabric around. Let's just put one more pin on that little guy. Okay, so that finishes our tree, leads into there. We now have a pocket for my bird. So this fabric is Stitch and Sparkle. What other words have we got on here that gives us a bit of a name for those of you who are looking for a good bird fabric to use as your base to stitch? Don't tell me that's all we've got. It is, for goodness sakes. It was in a pack. And I don't have anything else for you guys. 2017, copyrighted to Stitch and Sparkle. So I hope you can Google from there. RTC Fabrics. Maybe there wasn't a name on it. I don't know. So let's have a look at these birds. We need a bird that looks like it could sit in a nest. He's pretty good. He's no good. We need the tail up. So that's back to him. That's a repeat. He's looking down on the whole scene. He'd be good if you were adding a mate to this guy. I think that guy might have to be it. Any others? Tail down. No. Okay, so we've only got 1, 2, 3 birds. Look down, look away, look up. Look away, look up. Yep. Okay, so let's go to the edge of the fabric because there's one just here. I'm going to just take him out as much fabric as possible at the moment. Let's put that away. Finally, I get my bird. Finally. Okay. Now, we've got to make him look like he's in a nest. So let's fussy cut him out. I haven't thought about the nest bit yet and how I'm going to thread paint him. So he's just my base, he's my design. I've got a few bird transfer books, so if worst case come to it, I could sketch in one from one of the books. But I had a feeling that one of these birds might just do the trick. I like his size. Don't know what colours we're going to stitch him. He'll have to be brought into the colours of this piece. Some nice little elements there. Okay. Little bird. Yeah, he will work. So we're going to need a nest. That leaf, if that was over a little bit. That leaf is in the way of the beak. Do I zoom in? See how the beak, I sort of feel like he needs to be nestled here a little. What are we going to make the nest out of? I had thought of yarn. So it looks like a sticky, maybe hessian. Okay, bear with me guys. I need some hessian. Won't be a second. My container of hessian. All sorts in here. I'll zoom up. This is where I've got one of those stacking drawers and I just keep anything to do with hessian in here. So there's some little bits. Maybe we start with a scrap of that. I do have this one here, which is quite a loose one. So let's take a chunk of that, because that looks a bit sticky to me. I don't think there'd be anything else in here. See, there's a chunk I could have taken. Didn't need that other chunk, but anyway. Okay. So we need to build a bit of a foundation of a nest. So maybe get us a bit of a shape of a nest. It seems to be about the right size. Let's get that under these flowers a little. And that pin might help us hold it. Let's get that into there. And then I think what we'll do is we'll stitch over it some of this, so it looks a little bit more nest-like, a bit more ratty. See that there? I'll zoom in. So we've given ourselves a foundation that it's sort of like what I think we'll need to do for this couch, to have that blanket hanging over that looks like a crocheted blanket. I'll need a base fabric behind it to disguise the fact that there's a big red stripe. So I think this will work a treat, and then that can come onto there. So we've got all that stick-like, and then our little guy will sit into there. He's actually in a better position now, so maybe I can get him down a bit in the nest. Yep. Oh, I like it. That'll work. Now that is very delicate. I'm going to put it to a side because I don't need it at the moment. I need to get all of these bases down. Happy with bird. He now fits. Pins. He will need to be embroidered. Ow, pin over there. He'll need to be embroidered before that stick-like goes in. Otherwise, having the needle and thread going through all this will just be quite a painful experience. So I don't need that. That's enough hessian. Where's my container of hessian gold behind me? Okay. So now it's about merging him in with what I've got left of bits. I sort of need to keep framing him out a little. Maybe that could come in there behind everything. Yeah, that looks good. And then maybe, I don't know, I sort of feel like that could go here at the end, like put the sticks down, you know, this piece, put that down, then that. Yeah, I think we'll keep that little flower to one side. I need him a little project box because we're now on a bird tangent, and anything that is a definite do not lose on your desk, Corrine, like that, can sit there. This little flower here, I'm happy with him there, and I think he's going to get a bit lost, but I think that's okay. Maybe I can bring this guy up into here. Yeah, that sort of gets that connection happening. Happy with that. Now, hello Casper, that end was glued, so let's anchor that under there so that it's nice and secure. I like how the tatting is coming down on it. I'm not going to worry too much about that space there because it just gives it a little bit of room to breathe. I think my bird colour-wise, I'll follow the colours of the bird, except where the blue is, I'll bring in the pinks. Because I do like his tones. I don't have exactly those browns, but I'll come pretty close. So I think if I follow the lead of the designer, and I should be pretty right, and then the blue becomes pink. So that's all good. The bee will look good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That should work up really well. I do have these 3 little morsels. Been wanting to find a home for them for so long. Just going to make them work. They're just going in, all right? They're in. 1. It's not as easy as you think. 2. And I'm not even convinced that they are right. But they will add texture and interest to the piece. So maybe that under there. 3. They're gone. All right. They have been rolling around. Oh, my goodness. They found a home. Sick of looking at them. They're in. All right. Everything's secure. And that then will finish the piece off. I can do some embroidery. Okay. Long-standing project there. So let's get over here now and work in this chair. Let's get that up a little bit so you can see. Now, where's my pen? Oops, sorry, just bumped the camera. Let's unpin this. So, how do we do this? Fudgy, how do we do this? Now, I want to disguise that stripe. Which shouldn't be too hard to do. And I want the shape of the chair to be right. So what about, because I can't transfer it, well, I'm going to come up with a new way of transferring it. I'm actually going to cut it out. And that will give me the outline of the chair, and then I'm pretty sure I can sketch in the rest. So if you've got a really thick fabric and you don't have any way of transferring the image, like you don't have any of the products that are on the market to help you do that, this is one way you can do it. Grab your design, cut it out, that'll give you your basic outline, and then have a go at sketching in all the bits in the middle. At least you've got your boundaries done. And that's half the battle, I think, especially when it's curves, is getting that right. I want to try and... Hello, Fudge. Meow. I think it's going to go there. So all I'm going to do now is sketch around it. And remember, remember if there's some part of a sketch that just doesn't look right, you're just not quite getting. I'm going to take into account there is a blanket there and go past. So yeah, if there's something of a sketch that just doesn't look right, well, collage something into your design to disguise the fact that you can't draw a particular shape or element. It's a bit hard when it's a face. You sort of need that to be, you know, reasonably accurate so people know what you're trying to draw. Okay, there's my chair. So there's our basic shape. Now what we might do is get ourselves the blanket, which I want to use this. So do I do that next? Yeah, I'm going to get myself a little template again, and let's sketch. Can you hear that? That's Fudge doing zoomies. There's one word for it. Zooming down the hallway like a lunatic. Can you hear him meowing? You probably can't. So that's roughly the drapage of the blanket. So let's cut that out. I need a piece of fabric that is of the tone colour. I should have probably done that before. So there'll be something in that box to do with this project. So there's our blanket. That should work. Where's the box to do with this project? Here it is. Oh no, it's not, but it's the box from the boat. There will be a heap of neutrals in here that will get us something. There's the calico, don't need that. I really need a clean up, guys. Don't we all? I'm sure your desks are the same as mine. Okay. What was I looking for? See, there's those. See, that's what I was looking for in the last video. All of those. Okay. Where's our doily? Here it is. This colour here looks good. This guy. This is why I have no pins. They're all in these little packs everywhere. So scrap. That will do the trick, I think. Yeah. That will be good. So let's sneak down to this end. Let's try and be miserly. As my grandmother would have said, don't waste anything. Okay, so that cat, I think he's just jumped up on the fridge in the garage, the spare fridge. Well, the old fridge that you didn't get rid of, and it's been sitting in the garage for when you're having, you know, guests over and you need that extra space. That fridge, I believe that cat is on top of it. I just heard something crash. Now he's running full speed down the hallway again. So I'm just going to cut this out. It doesn't have to be exact because we can always trim it. So it's got bigger than what was on the design, but that's okay. Did you hear that? Now that's the other cat running down the hallway. Aren't they perky today? Casper, what are you doing? You're not built for speed. Casper's a rotundurous cat. Hey, Caspy, you're not built for speed. That was very fast. Fudge is fine and fast. Okay, so now let's get that draping over the arm beautiful red line is gone, and we will be able to easily piece in something there. It's purely just to knock that red line back. So by the time I squish that in, like it looks like a blanket that's draping over there, that will work. Okay, let's put, where's our box of elements that are needing to be not lost? So let's grab our pen and have a go at getting this chair in line. Maybe I'll put a little pin there. Okay, so let's start with the boundary. So there's like a little line that goes all the way around. Just bear with me as I look at this design. So that leg is a bit narrower than, and comes up there. Then there's an inside line to show depth to that rail. Then it comes down here to meet the seat. My tummy's rumbling. And the seat sort of is through there. Now I do want to put a seat on. I might do this rail over here next to get my bearings. So as I said in yesterday's video, it's Good Friday today. You guys are watching this after Easter. So I'm setting myself up with lots of stitching for my Easter weekend, which is great. Got a few friends coming over to catch up with. Marianne's coming over and her hubby and the daughter. So the girls will sit around the table and we'll just catch up. We haven't seen each other for a little while. We've all just been so busy. That's pretty good. And I think that seat comes through there. Now we want to disguise the there's a couple lines there where the cushion comes to the edge of the seat, and then there's a, see there's 1, 2, 3 lines. Have I jiggered that up? What am I, yeah, I have. I'm just going to turn my iron on. Or do I need to? I bring that up here. Yeah, I just want to get rid of all those lines because I've not quite got them into position. So I'm going to turn the iron on and come back to down there because there's like this cushion, which I do want to use this piece of fabric. So where's paper? Maybe I'll get that cushion sketched in next. Let's pinch a pattern out of it just to give us a bit of a feel for the cushion. No, I'm not going to go that low. I'm going to keep the cushion as the top, and then I can use lace at the side of the cushion. It's a bit of an odd design, but we'll go with the flow. Let's just cut it out a fraction bigger. Yeah, I'm going to sneak that down a little bit more. Let's get a template onto this. Hopefully there's enough space to get what I need out of it. We'll make it work. It's a little bit short, but I think it will still work. It's a bit rough. Nice plump cushion. Let's get those lines out of the way. Not that it really matters because it's going to be covered over anyway, but I just want to notch that back a bit. Bring that up into there. That'll hide the stripe going through there. That then will meet there. That does come over a fraction, but it's more the frill. So I'm going to straighten that up. Okay, pins. It's getting this back line right, I think. Okay, so I can probably trim that back a little. Can always take more off if I need to, but let's just nibble a bit out of there. What I'm thinking is I'll put an edge of lace there so it looks like this cushion. See how there's this little flap? Then there's that, the chair is underneath that. So let's get that chair properly drawn in now. So we've got this little rail coming through here. Oh, the fabric's so wonky. I need to bring my curve down a bit and that through there. So that's the bottom of the chair. Then there's a rail coming through here, which supports the mattress. And then she's done a crisscross stitch through there to give you that wicker cane look. So let's get that marked in. A lot of that probably won't be seen because I'll embellish this mattress. So let's now get do we need that other rail? Don't think so. Because I can put a lace trim there and I want the fabric to hide as much of that red stripe, so I might adjust the design a little bit there, I think. So that'll come in there, that'll come in there. That leg can disappear behind there. Now in here, she's got a bit of a scroll happening, so it connects the side of the chair to something to hold it all into position. Might have to bring that down a little bit. Maybe I'll bring the scroll a bit more obvious, otherwise you won't know that there's even that effect there due to the cushion, the rug. So that works. There's a bit of a scroll happening over here. Yep, that's good. Do I bring that cushion back a bit? Maybe my cushion's a bit big. But I don't want that red line. No, I have to leave it like that because I don't want that red line to pop through. I think once I get a band of lace in there, I might look for a crocheted edge on something. I'm just scanning my table in front of me. I can't see anything jumping out, but I'm sure there'll be a little crocheted edge that I can find on a handkerchief or something that we can slide into there. So that's all good. Now, so that line comes through here. That's the back. Oh, it's such bumpy fabric. Then there's another line that comes through there to help this chair have a little bit of structure in the back. Then there's a second line through here as well, which I like, just to build the back of the chair up a little, and then she's put a little running stitch through there. I like that. That just makes the top of that chair look a little bit more solid. Now she's got her crisscross coming through, so let's get that back into position. I like that. Then she's done crisscross through here as well. So there's our wicker chair back. Okay, that's air. I feel like this needs to go higher. Yeah, that's better. That's a bit better. Now I'll just trim just so it looks like it's meant to be. Yeah, that's better. That was the problem. My cushion was too low. I can still do something there with the lace, because I'll find something that's fairly solid, especially if I cut it off of something. And at the end of the day, there's actually a rail that can come through here as well. I'm not sure how I'll stitch all this. That would be great for satin stitch. So maybe if I satin stitch along this bottom rail, that would take care of my red stripe. Give the chair a bit of a solid feel. Satin stitch where she's done there. She's done little bands of satin stitch. You know, it's like the twine that holds these chairs together. It's quite effective. Very clever girl. Then the satin stitch, all that. Bit of air through there. And then once I get that into position, I can then have a look at what sits on here. And she's used the sewing basket, but I won't get to that stage yet because I'll probably camphor quilt all this, not camphor quilt, borrow stitch all of that down so it's really anchored. Yeah, I like that. I think my chair will work. I do have a funny scenario here where I've got a tree and a chair, but all else fails, I can put in a piece of floral here and do some more ribbon embroidery. The other thing I want to do before I get too far is I did want to pop in a few of these little morsels. Not too much, just don't want to take away from the chair, but I mustn't forget that that's the styling down the side. Plenty of work now. do like that. Might bend that around. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Move it over. I've got this little seam here from where it was joined, so I might take advantage of bending that over. Just to bring a pop of interest there. Now, I wonder if we have a doily nearby. I've got a few minutes left. Let's see if we can find a piece of lace that would fit along the bottom of that cushion. Yeah, hello. That's what we want. Okay, so we've got a little handkerchief here with a very fine crocheted edge. That's exactly what we want. And I love that there. That little, hello Casper, you were running like an idiot. Yeah, I like that. That's going to work. So let's, don't want that edge, do I? And we've got a corner there. Yeah, I might trim that actually there. I'll cut it back a bit. I can always nip it down in size, but I will come back from that pretty edge. I'd hate to think that the edge frayed out because this feels so thin, this little hanky. Gosh, that's pretty. And that will go on that little edge there. So I'll trim that there. Okay, thank you, old Hetty. That'll work. Could even come under the cushion. Oh, yes, that's how we do it. That softens that edge a lot. And I could bring it up a little bit. I'm going to lose a little bit of my embroidery because it's such a big piece of lace. So that's something I will need to consider. But I don't think it's a big problem. Does it matter? No. Okay, I like that. So let's put that little element in our little box of tricks. The quilt is definitely going to work. Yep, there's plenty there. To the point where I've actually got lots that I can use. I think it needs to come down that end like that. So I can trim that there. And I might squish it in even a little bit so it looks like it's really draping. Yeah, got plenty of options there for that. If I trim that off of there, we've definitely got a good piece for that. So that's in the box. I will put these little guys in that as well. I better keep my image handy in case I lose my way. Okay, so we now have a plan for our chair. We have a plan for our bird. I've got heaps of stitching, haven't I? Don't need that scrap. I guess this is a zone I need to have a little think about. Maybe the next prompt will give me something that could sit in here. We'll see what the girls come up with. I could certainly creep up here a little bit too with some lace, doilies and things like that, just to knock back that there. I can create a bit of a ground here like I did over here. Once the chair's into position, we can do a little bit. See those little stitches down there, just with the little morsels. We can do a little bit of that through here. And then I'll think about the sewing basket another day. Okay, yay. Oh, I feel like I've made progress and I haven't used all my space. Let me come up a little bit so you can get the whole scene. I did want to have a quick look through these. These are from that French general panel. And I've just backed them with some calico. I was going to do some stitching on them. I don't think... I sort of feel like that could be a character or some pots, or you know what I mean. So it's not a bad little spot there. And even my tree is probably more like a vine. My stem's not too... I guess too, the tree, the other thing I need to consider, how much time we got? We've got 10 minutes. The other thing I need to consider is I could make my tree out of some fabrics so that it was not just stitched, it was collaged. Caspy. I could bring in... Oh, I sort of like the fact that it is going to be stitched, and maybe I do some embroidery on it. Then I could bring a vine up if I wanted. I could bring flowers up behind it if I wanted. No, I'm going to just keep it simple there for now. Who knows what will happen. Yeah. I think that's getting my chair in. I wonder, actually, I'm just looking down at this guy. Remember, we've got one of these. Oh, yeah, that's what we'll do. We've got one of these up the top, and I would like to get another in. So I'm going to cut one out. And even if I don't use it down at the bottom of the chair there, like I think I might, it'll be with me rolling around. And if it's cut out, it'll force me to use it. Otherwise, I forget about it. And I want some of these little elements to pop up in other spots. Otherwise, it's, you know, they get forgotten. So maybe we can build, oh yeah, maybe we can build a cluster of something happening down here, just to have a little bit of interest. It would get rid of a bit more red, wouldn't it? Where's that edge? What if we were to sneak that into there? And then the leg got absorbed a little bit, and we build a floral something back into here. Okay, I'm going to put that in that container. Okay, I feel like I have a plan of attack. I've got plenty of work to do. Like I said, it's Good Friday for me, so I'm going to now leave it at that. I've filmed 2 videos working out my plan of attack here. I've now got the rest of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to do some stitching. If anything exciting happens that I need to film, I'll pop back and that'll follow on. But at the moment, it's going to be invisible stitching everything down. I think I could easily stitch all this. I'll probably use a brownish tone. That's nothing exciting. So yeah, I'll just keep working. I've got a little bit of green that I want to use. That's from a little sampler of Anne Brook, so I might keep that in there. I won't need that white. I will need my cotton. I need some cream because these pieces I've been stitching over the top of with cream fabrics, cream thread, crochet cotton. So those need to come with me, and that's pretty much all I need at the moment to get this project sort of cooking with gas. Okay, love it. Gee, I did not think that was going to come together like that. Unbelievable. Took two hours. 2 hours to nut out a plan, and I've got my bird in. Goodness knows what these rest of these prompts are. Maybe they'll just say roses or flowers and I could just fill it full. But I do like it. It's coming together. All right, guys. Look after yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.